Champ is in town. I'd like you guys to get a good look at him.
Aljo, have you finally taken everybody's advice and gotten off the internet, stopped reading comments, and stopped listening to everything?
Hell no. I'm still on there, still trolling, having fun with it now. The first few days, like the first 2 days, I was kind of confused because everybody was saying all these stuff that never happened. Like, oh, you're posting pictures with the belt. I'm like, I never even posted anything. My friends posted stuff. I'm like, I'm sorry that my friends were excited and they came to my house, 30-plus people in my house, and asked me to enjoy the moment. You worked to get to this position. It's not your fault that this guy did something illegal. You did nothing wrong. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I went in there, I fought an honest fight, and it wasn't going well in that fourth round, but we still had another round to go. And even before the failed takedown attempt, I landed 2 head kicks back-to-back. So it was like, it's a fist fight. Anything can happen. So, I don't really care what people say anymore. They want to say I'm acting. I'm like, let me put your head down here, you not look, and just blast you. And you tell me how you feel when you get up. Tell me if you can act that. Please. Please.
Yeah. Do you remember when you reached that moment? Because it's been fun to see you kind of evolve in this, and now you're just kind of embracing it and having fun with it. Do you remember the moment you reached that? Like, did somebody give you some advice, or did you recognize something in yourself to get to that point?
So I had a bunch of people reach out to me, but like I said, the first 2 days, I was like trying to explain myself, and then it got to the point where I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. So I was like, why am I explaining to these people if they're not even going to listen? They're going to say that I'm an actor. They're going to say that it wasn't that hard of a knee. They're going to say that I was faking it. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to take it and run with it at this point. I've always been one to troll back when people hate on me, so it's all fun and games. And sorry about my outfit. I had to change my shirt. I know navy blue and black doesn't really match, but yeah, but you got to just have fun with it, man. This sport, you're either going to love the person, you're going to hate them, or you're just not going to care. And I'm happy that it's one or the other at this point. So, my true fans know what happened, and the ones with an actual brain, a voice of reason, they can understand what happened, the severity of it. It's not like a knee that was partially blocked and then saying you could have continued. They were comparing me to Anthony Smith, which made no sense. His knee that landed was nowhere near a comparison in terms of the impact. I wasn't even looking. So, whatever, man. It is what it is. I'm going to have fun. Send me the memes, and I'm going to post them for you. I'll laugh with you. At the end of the day, I'm happy. I put myself in the position to fight for a world title. It's eluded me for super long, and unfortunately, the fight went the way it went, and we're going to do it again. And if that's the best Petr Yan versus a watered-down Sterling, in terms of people don't even know, I had my morning shakeout. I ate at 10:30. I ate the food that the UFC PI gave me for breakfast, very small portion of food. And that's all I had until the fight. Normally, I do the same thing, but I eat a bigger breakfast, and I fight a lot earlier. So I felt very depleted going into the fight in the back room. I don't want to make any excuses, but my performance was hindered. And I feel like if I perform like that, still ate his biggest shots, best shots, I like my chances in the rematch. And I'm super excited. No one can tell me nothing. Can't tell me nothing.
I know you're under concussion protocol. Can you give us a health update or kind of where you stand? Are you still waiting to be cleared before you can even talk about when the rematch is going to happen?
Well, they suspended me here in Nevada for 45 days, no contact, so I can't do anything before that anyway. But I am having some issues with my neck again, so we're just trying to figure out what's the next step's going to be, if we're going to try to push through one more training camp. Remember, this guy pulled out the first fight in December, and I was planning on trying to just get the surgery right after that. And then we had this fight, and I'm starting to deal with a little bit of muscle weakness in my left arm and a little bit of atrophy in my left tricep. And it sucks, I've been dealing with this for about 10 years now at this point, and thank God the UFC PI's teams have been able to keep me together as long as they have to have me be able to compete as much as I have. So the next nothing to play with, and to get slammed on my head in that fight, slipping all over the octagon, I'm like, and then to get kneed in the head, I'm sure that didn't help my case with my herniations in my neck, but we'll see what happens. I would like to do it sooner than later, but at the same time, I want to make sure I go through all the steps that I need to go through, because this is only a short moment of time in my life, and when I get older, that's what really matters. When it's all said and done, man, this is all going to be over. No more, the cheering is going to stop, and I want to make sure what matters after that is my health and my kids and my family, and I want to be able to be actively involved in that, and it starts with this.
So is it too early? I mean, do you think you could fight? It could happen this year? Or is it too early to even say right now?
I think for sure this year.
Yeah.
I 100% think for sure this year. I'm not one of those guys who's looking to just fight once every other year or something like that. I want to be active, and unfortunately, I didn't tell this guy to knee me in the goddamn head, so his excuse was so stupid. He says he was focusing on my hands. So if we're going through the rule book in the back room when the refs are coming and demonstrating what a foul is, they show you what's illegal, what you can and cannot do. So you focus on my hands, so you didn't look at my knees. So you're telling me you're that much of a moron. So I look at it like it was an intentional foul. He was frustrated that he couldn't get me out of there. I was eating his biggest shots, and he was probably thinking like, what else am I supposed to do with this guy? You want to say he ragdolled me because he tripped me a couple times on a slippery octagon? I don't give a shit. I really don't. Because the octagon was super slippery. I couldn't get none of my takedowns. And those are facts. You can see all the other fighters that are slipping and sliding all over the cage. Kevin Holland throwing a head kick and then busting his ass. It's like, I don't know what they're doing in terms of like the COVID stuff spraying on the canvas. But this is something I think they got to look into because it's affecting the fights. You got guys who pressure, put all their weight in, and it's like you're just sliding. So you can never get your footing underneath you to actually get your takedowns. So I forgot where I even started with this, but yeah, looking at the hands, looking at the knees, you had multiple options. I was holding his hands. I'm not even looking at him. I'm like, I got to get up safely and not get kneed in the head. All he has to do is step back and look. He's sitting here, as I rewatched the video, he's sitting above me, trying to stuff my head. I'm holding his hands, and he just steps back and unloads the knee. I'm like, at what point did you don't need your corner to tell you that's illegal. You don't need anybody to tell you that. You know the rules. You're the champion of the world. But to do that at such a high level and then try to blame your coaches or you try to blame something like that, it's like it's on you. And John McCarthy, he could suck it. I don't even understand how the hell that guy was ever one of the best refs and the golden standard. He's giving Mark Smith a little flack about his first title fight, refereeing. Dude, the rules are the same. If you commit a foul intentionally, you should be disqualified. So when else are we going to disqualify guys? Do I need to bite an ear? Do I need to headbutt somebody? And then wag your finger at me? Don't you do that. That was illegal. That's wrong. I'm going to take a point. We're going to go to the judges. No, that's silly. This is not a street fight. I came in here for an organized fight. We know the rules. We're playing by the same rules, so enforce the rules. No more of these eye pokes, these low blows. Oh, it's a warning. That's a hard warning. I'm sorry, that's another warning. Let's bring the doctor in. That's a hard warning. Hey, I'm going to talk to you one more time. Please don't do that. Yo, enforce the rules. Everyone knows what we signed up for. And people want to say, oh, I'm complaining. Dude, you try getting in the octagon, putting in all this hard work, and then getting poked in the eye like a Bilal Muhammad and losing an opportunity of a lifetime, getting kneed in the head, not having a chance to finish out the fight to see what the story would have been. Like, we would never know. But I'm just thankful that I get an opportunity to do it again, and I can shut up all the Russian and all the other trolls that are talking shit. So I'm laughing to the bank. So, I'm happy.
Last thing for me, Aljo. I mean, I know on the night of you didn't want the belt, but it is your belt. It's a UFC title. What have you done with it since? Did you give it a place of honor yet, or what?
It showed up at my house. I left it in the octagon. That's all I remember. So I remember talking to Joe Rogan, but I don't remember talking to Joe Rogan. I know I asked to talk to him, but I don't know what the hell I said. People are saying you're faking a concussion. I'm like, how do you fake a concussion? Okay, but I left the belt. I go home. Everyone's happy. My head's pounding, and they say I got drunk. I didn't even drink. I had a sip of champagne because everyone was there, gave a toast. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate everyone spending their hard-earned money to come see me fight and chase a dream and try to bring it to reality. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. It's not the way I want to win, but we'll do it again. And sip, put it down. Oh, you got shit face. No, actually, I didn't. I actually threw up later that night. So, yeah, I haven't really done much with the belt. I did take a couple pictures because people were like, they were asking for it. The trolls were asking for it, so I gave them what they wanted. I'm going to feed the trolls. You want to troll me, I'll feed you. So I'm one of those guys. I don't shy away from social media. I don't let it beat me up. I'm not going to have it take away my fun. Social media is supposed to be fun for everybody. So, I'm not going to let a couple people I don't know who don't train probably have Cheetos on their fingertips and pushing a couple buttons and talking shit to me.
Hey, Aljo, what's up, man? How are you?
Good.
You mentioned that the day of the fight you only had that small PI meal. Any reason why you didn't eat more after that?
I usually can't stomach a lot of food, but I normally eat a big breakfast. And I just had the breakfast that the UFC gave me. Normally I order like a big thing or we have a buffet. at all the other venues that we fight at. So it was unfortunate, man. It's I think the fact that we're fighting that much longer, like later in the night, fighting at 8:30 where I normally fight at like 5 or 6 sometimes, that with a smaller portion of food, I felt depleted. Like my arms in the back room when I woke up, well, I didn't even nap, but when I got up around 3 out of bed, just lounging around, I was like, dude, I just don't feel good. I feel like I already fought. I felt like similar to how I felt going into the Caraway fight after doing 3 workouts the day of the fight. So lesson learned, stupid. I know all these guys are like, Aljo, you got to eat. This happened to me in sparring one time before this fight. And I was like, okay, I just got to eat a couple of hours before something, even if it's something small. And now I know for the future, man. People are talking about the output. Dude, if you think that was insane, come watch my sparring sessions, bro. Come watch my sparring sessions. You'll see me do that with 3 different guys. 5 rounds. No problem. So I'm excited for the future, man. I think this next one is going to be the best one, and I just can't wait to shut everybody up, and then I'm going to be the biggest troll and just nonstop memes and just shut it, suck it, suck it, suck it. I don't care, or it could go really bad and I could lose. But we're hoping that doesn't happen.
That's actually kind of what I wanted to ask you. It seems like, there was bad blood going into the first fight, and now it seems like, even more intense going into this possible rematch in the future.
Yes and no. I don't have any animosity to the guy. I've said this before. He's a family man. He's got kids, and I appreciate that. Anyone who's there for the family. I don't know what type of dad or husband he is, but anyone that's a family man, I could respect that. So I just don't know what the logic of reasoning was of him fighting like that, and what went through his head. Like the excuse he gave made no sense, and then him pulling out the first fight made no sense. There was no logical explanation, which I think was he just didn't feel like he was adequately enough trained to fight me the first time. And whatever. I respect his honesty and having the balls to pull out of a fight because he felt like he wasn't ready. But, I've never been able to do that. You fight, just like when I knew I didn't feel good, I'm not going to say, hey, man, guys, I don't feel good. I can't make this walk. The ships have sailed. You got to make the walk and go no matter how you feel. Michael Jordan in the flu game. One of his, memorable games because he had the flu and he played lights out. It's like one of those things where you just have to show up and perform. It's your job. So I have no bad blood. I just really just want to smash this guy. That's really it. I want to smash this guy because I don't think I don't know. He's tough. I will say his shell defense was better than I expected, but even with that, I just felt like, I was like, dude, if I feel good on my best days, dude, this guy doesn't even touch me. He doesn't even touch me, man. I haven't lost a round since I lost to Marlon Moraes. I haven't lost a round until this fight. You're telling me this guy? Dude, that was a shell of myself. So, I can't say that enough, but like I said, people only care about what you do out there, so I just got to make sure what I do out there is the best one.
Was there anything post-fight that, looking back now, you kind of wished happened differently or that you didn't do or any regrets about post-fight?
No. When I got kneed in the head, I thought a couple of things just racing through my mind. One, I got cracked, so I don't even know where I am at the moment. And all I'm thinking, I start pretty much tearing up because I'm like, dude, my one shot to fight for the belt, this is how it's going to end. The 4th round wasn't going my way. I had a couple key moments, but nothing too great. He was coming on strong in that 4th round. And in my head, I'm thinking, there's so many good guys in this division. Dana's not going to give me a rematch. That's honestly how I felt. I was like, Dana's not going to give me a rematch. He's going to say, well, we know how the fight was going to end up. It wasn't looking good for Sterling. We're going to move on to the next one. And it's his organization. He could do whatever the hell he wants. So I felt heartbroken about that. Not the fact that anything else. I was upset about the knee, but I'm like, I'd rather take my lickings like a man and get my ass kicked for another round if that was what was going to happen. But I was going to keep going. I was the one pushing the pace. Every time I get hit, I'm the one still going forward. I'm taking the failed shots or getting tripped. I get right back up. I'm the one that's going forward. So I think I displayed a lot of heart in that fight and what my character is about. And I don't think there's anything that I would have done differently. I was disgusted in the way I won. But at the end of the day, rules are the rules. There's 4 ways to win. Knockout, submission, decision, or disqualification. Unfortunately, I won by disqualification.
Last thing for me, need a prediction from you. Jake Paul, Ben Askren, who wins?
I know Dana bet a lot of money on Ben Askren, but that spinning back fist was something beautiful in that fight with Damian Maia. So I don't know. I think size plays an advantage. He might not be the most talented guy in terms of his credentials, but I think Jake Paul should win. I know Askren is tough, but he just got his hip replaced. You know, I don't know. Askren, I love you, but obviously he's not a boxer. He's a grappler, you know. So I think it's Jake Paul's fight to lose.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Aljo over here. I haven't seen you address this, but I was curious, how did Henry Cejudo end up at your post-fight party?
Well, he wasn't at my post-fight party. We were going to meet some friends, my loan officer, at Encore, and we went the wrong way. The lady took us the wrong way, and as we're walking, I go, wait, hold up. Well. Look who we have here. If it isn't the shit talker himself, and that was Henry Cejudo, and it's just somehow he managed to be right there, and you know, he gave me his 2 cents, and I gave him what I felt happened, and at the end of the day, like I said, people only can judge you by what they see, so they don't know how you're feeling internally. That's why this sport is so interesting, because so many things could go wrong, and no one ever knows the backstory going into each fight. Every fight's different, man. Everyone's got their own problems, their own battles, and how they feel. You talk to your coach, how you feeling? You ready to go? Everyone says yes, but you might be dealing with something that no one wants to talk about because they feel like it might make them look weak or whatever. But I saw Henry, and it's fascinating because any other sport, when you do something intentionally illegal, you get suspended, you get fined, you get ejected from the game. This guy's getting rewarded with a rematch, which I get it's a big fight, but it's like, so we could just break the rules and nothing's ever going to happen to us. You know, so I could just jump the octagon, nothing's ever going to happen to me. I could just go fight another corner, or I could push him after the bell, nothing's ever going to happen. So it's like, I feel like when you have rules and for a reason, you kind of got to somewhat enforce them. Otherwise, let's just run amok. I'm okay with that. Let me run amok then. Let me start smacking guys and start doing the crazy shit that I want to do instead of being professional about the way I handle my business, you know. So that was the whole thing with Cejudo, and that's how I feel about Petr Yan. I feel like his ass should have been suspended or something. Pay me some money for an illegal foul that might take years off of my career.
With Usman and Masvidal being moved up, I mean, now that Ultimate Fighter coaching is wide open, this is a big fight. You're not afraid to speak your mind. How would you feel about them saying, hey, Aljo, you want to coach tough?
I would love it because I think it would give the fans an inside look on how I coach and my approach to fighting. And I think it's very different. And I think I've only gotten to this position in my career because of how much of a student of the game I am. You know, going back to the drawing board, whether I win or lose, and taking the time to really do my homework and get better and improve in every position. You know, people could say I'm 1 for 17 in my takedown attempts, but like I said, those takedowns in that cage was a very different thing. I've never once in my life ever fell over on my own 2 feet because a guy pushed my head down. I think that says something, you know. So, you know, obviously Yan had to deal with that too, but he's a stationary fighter. It doesn't affect him as much, especially when he's not wrestling, you know. So you get a guy who could just kick your leg and you fall out and you look like Betty Spaghetti just falling all over the place. It just doesn't look good aesthetically. But those don't hurt. It's, you know, get up and just push back forward. But I would love the tough opportunity. I would love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Undefeated, undisputed, #1. Let them know, Russia, give me your chicken.